We're on site with the Measured podcast at MREC 2025, filming from the RSC booth. A great opportunity to catch up with friends and colleagues, and I roped a few of them into chatting about what they're up to and how they're helping changing the industry. In this chat, I sat down with Mike Stewart. Mike is technical domain expert at Seequent and has been a previous guest on the show, which was one of the most popular chats on the channel. Here we talked about Evo, which Seequent describes as a game changer and a new operating system for geoscientific modeling. I hope you get something out of this chat. Enjoy.
Good. What's going on in Seequent world?
There's a lot happening, and it's happening very quickly.
Are you getting a holiday? That's my question.
Well, yes, actually, I'm off to Niue very shortly.
Oh, cool.
To go and swim with the whales.
Nice. Oh, awesome, man. Yeah, that's good.
Third time there.
A lot to do still.
Yeah. It's really busy.
Just what sort of angles are you talking new things or just improvements?
New things.
Or everything?
No, I mean, for the last 4 years, roughly, thereabouts, we've been working on a platform. As is everybody, but we really have kind of approached the idea of obsoleting ourselves by moving to the cloud from the ground up, which is you have to build the infrastructure that's going to support you to do that. So Evo, which is was announced at PDAC in March, it's going kind of live in July. That's going to be the game changer. Yeah. So it's the fully managed cloud platform, data objects,
exciting.
All of the stuff that goes with that.
And what's the timing on that?
July this year.
This year.
Beginning to roll out commercialization July this year. Now it's not a kind of splash launch. It's we need to bring people into that system.
Soft landing.
It's going to take time.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's the early feedback? I mean, are you sort of putting this out there with little clients and test programs? Or how does that work?
Yeah. We've had a number of what we're calling limited availability customers who have been giving us feedback, having early access, giving us feedback.
Yeah.
We're getting really positive responses, really good feedback. Both for the data and the data objects, and that's going to underpin kind of modern systems going forward.
Yeah.
We've also been developing our sort of cloud native apps that sit on top. So Driver is going to be in the next Leapfrog release, which with an Evo sub we'll be able to run it.
Sure.
That's continuity, structural grade continuity modeling at local scales.
Yeah. Now I've seen it obviously, but maybe for the people listening, tell me just briefly in a nutshell how that works and why it's game changing.
It's effectively looking at grade continuity at a local level and developing ellipsoids of triaxial continuity. So it pulls out lineations, foliations, strength of electricity. In the last, that came with a company we acquired 3 years ago, and we've done a lot of work on basically bringing that all into the Seequent ecosystem and the environment. But we've done a lot of work in the last development cycle on integrating the outputs from Driver into Leapfrog, so that we can now use those triaxial continuities into structural trends, which let you then build models which are incorporate prolate linearity.
Right. So does that make the process that probably a lot of people listening to this that are using Leapfrog obsolete, in that the manual enhancements of trends that you see as a geologist in that iterative process that takes quite a bit of fiddling to get right, is that by and large automated through this process? Or?
I wouldn't say it's automated, it's exposed. So we've made a lot of improvements to the structural trend itself. I mean, it was a pretty opaque tool previously, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
So we've exposed some of what's happening under the hood there, and improved that as well.
Yeah.
So it used to be a bit inexplicable sometimes what was happening with things like clustering inside of that tool. So we now expose the way the breaking down of the problem into sub-problems is performed. Build it back up again. Okay. And also visualization of the structural trend was previously...
As we talked about before. Yeah. So that's all improved now, and...
It's much improved, I mean, ongoing, but it's really exciting.
And to what, I mean, you're here at the conference and, Mineral Resource Estimation 25, you're listening to the talks here, you've heard us talk about software and responsibility and opportunity, and what do you as a group take away from a conference like this from a big picture perspective, right? And maybe just to put my personal flavor on that, we hear a lot about the big data and the resource estimation process, the workflow, and the data not ending up as variables in the models. To what degree do you guys feel a responsibility to help solve that problem, and to what degree is that actually a commercial commercial option for you guys to try and help solve that?
There's a lot in that question.
Yes, there is. Sorry. Yeah.
Look, I guess in terms of kind of overall vision and responsibility of software, I guess we have a strategy, and in our case, what I'm hearing here is that we basically hold our course. So again, Evo is going to be the layer which underpins where we want to take geostats going forward and geostat tools going forward. I guess we've got two strands to that. We want to leverage the power of the cloud and of having data that is accessible and available, and can be used for multiple different purposes from different interested parties, and to allow things like Python scripting sitting off the top of that data.
Yes.
And, it's the place we've always resisted scripting inside of Leapfrog because it's very, very difficult in that dynamic environment.
Yeah.
That becomes entirely possible within Evo as a workspace.
Wow. Yeah. So that's a true game changer.
It's a game changer. Yep. And we have. We're working on making available a full suite of cloud algorithms in there for geostats, all the stuff that Alex Boucher has developed over the years.
Yeah, right.
Same time, we think that we want to bring the Seequent experience, so I guess the Leapfrog experience, to some of the geostat tools. So we've got a simulation, turning bands conditional simulation for numerics, embedded into Leapfrog, where the objective is to make the creation of simulations simple and reliable and robust, and to focus on why people want to use simulation. Uncertainty is a very intuitive concept to geologists. They should be focused on what you can leverage, what value you get from conditional simulation, not how you make them. And so the idea is a simple process, a run to completion, check the outputs with sort of traffic lights to make sure that it's safe to proceed, and then move on. Use the outputs for better decisions.
Yeah. Now, and because there's a few other software providers here, and there are other people building interesting solutions.
Yeah.
Do you, at the strategic level, do you feel there's a race to achieve something that between companies, or that you're all trying to achieve the same?
There's always a race.
Well, there is always a race. I guess that's probably not the right question, but you do. I mean, we're sitting right next to the Micromine booth here, right? So, and I haven't used it for a while, but to what degree are you watching what others are doing and adjusting your strategy or the speed of it based on what, or do you just fly your own course?
We fly our own course.
This is what we want to do, and we're just going to go ahead and do it.
You can't be reactive to what you see other people doing. Of course, you're aware of trends.
You're aware.
But no, we have where we're going. I think one of the game changers for us in the last 12 months has been that we have spun out an internal research arm. So Seequent Labs gives us the ability, and so it's based off the top of our cloud platform, but it gives us the ability to innovate and iterate quickly, to fail fast, try out ideas, and that is separated from the behemoth that is Leapfrog.
That's cool. Yeah. That's and how many people are sort of in your engine room there?
We must have, I'm not sure what the total count is. It might be 8.
Yeah. Okay. So it's it's a good amount of people that sit in a lab and doctor up the new cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. And they're moving really, really quickly.
Yeah. So. Well, that's the thing, right? Because we sometimes we see it could be a small little thing that you want implemented or that helps, and you don't want to wait for 5 years for something to be.
Yeah.
So that it's nice to have that speed. But you guys, this feels and sounds like something has been developing for a number of years now, because it's been a little bit quiet since the whole Edge, release from a user perspective, right? So can we expect now that this milestone is kind of achieved, that now we've got that architecture sorted, that
absolutely.
we can now start bolting on things fairly quickly? Or
Very much. The trajectory. I mean, the whole one of the objectives is to allow us to move faster.
Yes.
Leapfrog is hard to develop
faster,
against. Even faster. Leapfrog is hard to develop against. We're aware that people have been. Our list of feature requests is absolutely
it's endless,
enormous,
right? Yeah.
Because we cater to such a lot of different use cases.
Yeah.
Different types of user.
Right.
And everyone wants their own feature.
Their own little thing.
So we've tried to focus on things that are generic.
Yeah.
But we in last year's update 24.2, we did a quick summary before we went to MRMR conference in Vancouver. We touched 2.5 million lines of code in the Leapfrog. So that is, you've got to be careful.
Yeah, you've got to be very careful. Yeah. No, that's a good message. So, anything else that's out there you wanted to touch on, or?
No, it's really exciting times. I think we're on the cusp. The potential for AI and potential for bringing in new algorithms for different ways of thinking about composing tasks. That's where the future lies.
Yeah.
We're well set up for it.
Okay, so you think all these questions that we're tackling here, Seequent will continue to play a role in answering some of these?
Yeah, I think yes, we will. We'll continue to play a role. I think one of the roles we're going to play is that we are confident that the platform we've built will enable other people to use that structure and that base to build on top of. So we confidently expect that other people are going to want to build functionality on top of that platform.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah. Well, as you know, we're heavy users, so we can't wait.
We are looking forward to showing you what we've got.
No, that's good. Thanks, Mike.
Very
Appreciate
good.
it. Cheers.
Thanks.